Greetings, everyone, and thank you very much for the possibility of being here. I'm very sorry that I could not attend in person these events, but I do hope that I will be able to listen to all your speeches in the very next future. What I want to do in my speech is to think in continents, that is to provide a macro-continental perspective on the crises that are happening in Europe, on the challenges that the European states or that we as European are facing, why are we facing that, and what could we do in order to fix them, in order to survive the challenge. And the main point I would like to stress in my speech is that what we are witnessing in Europe, both concerning the war in Ukraine, but as well as on the economic level, but as we will be able to see also on a singular state level. So, for example, the flourishing of so many populist movements that are anti-Germanic but pro-American, well, is that what we are witnessing in Europe is a process of degermanization, that is of damaging, of destruction, so to say, of the of the economic engine of Germany as the economic engine of Europe, and as the economic push toward a possible strategic and even political autonomy of Europe and of the European Union. We are witnessing a process of de-Germanization because, to put it very bluntly, very simple, in a historical moment where when Russia and China have formed what is de facto an alliance in almost any regard beside the name, if and when the center of gravity of Germany understood as the economic engine of all Europe, where to go eastward, if the center of gravity of Germany were to go eastward, the plans for the American unipolarity will simply vanish overnight. This is not the first time that we can see in our recent European history. This is not the first time that we witness a process of de-Germanization, and it is not the first time we as Europeans have seen on a economic and political level such a strong push eastward on the one hand, and on the other hand an attempt to keep Europe, or keep the European state within an maritime-led world economic, or English-led before the First World War, or American-led after the Second World War. The two processes of de-Germanization that happened in the past were, as a matter of fact, the First World War. We can call even the first act of a European civil war, which took place after the Reich founded by Bismarck were to gather together to the process of Zollverein and an economic treaty with the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Ottoman Empire, and possibly even Tsarist Russia, were possibly uniting the European space within the Germanic engine and push it eastward through with the infrastructural plan of the Berlin-Byzantium-Baghdad railway. And this led the way eventually to the First World War, or the very important European Civil War, which brought to the eventually destruction of many European continental powers, such as the Ottoman Empire, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and partially Tsarist Russia and Germany. A second Germanization happened just before the Second World War. So it was the Third Reich managed to build up its hegemony through economic means, led the way to a possible continental bloc, that is a possible alliance with the Eurasiatic power, that is the Soviet Union and Japan directly against the Anglo-Saxon Empire, which eventually results during the process of degermanization of course part of the Second World War and the eventually destruction of Germany and of Europe as a whole. Europe after the Second World War, or second act of the European Civil War, has become a political object. So after the Second World War, or this act of the European Civil War, we witness as European the complete end of the Eurocentrism, because Europe back in the days was the center of world politics. After the Second World War, that is after the second process of degermanization, became an object, a political object of foreign powers, that is the United States and possibly even the Soviet Union, if you want to see it as a non-European power. That is, of course, an ambiguous understanding. The third Germanization is precisely what we have witnessed after the end of the Cold War. That is when, with the European Union and with a unified Germany, the Germanic engine has managed yet again for a third time to Germanized the European economy. That is precisely what we are in now, and it is precisely why we are witnessing such a strong pressure from the United States to unbound the such economic engine, first of all with Russia, because Russia will of course pull the economic engine of Germany, and with Germany of all the European Union eastward, and not anymore on the Atlantic toward the United States, and possibly, which is also what we are trying to we are witnessing now, the possible imposition of sanction by the Europeans to China, something that has not yet happened because China is very strong on an international level, on economic level, and it has managed to prevent this from happening, because China has absolutely no intention to renounce or review its Belt and Road Initiative, which ends precisely at the center of Europe. This is what we are witnessing right now. If we, as European power, will cut off completely from the economic, from the processes of Eurasian integration that are taking place right now, we will eventually become a memory of world history, because Europe has already lost political agency after the Second World War. That is the second process of degermanization of Europe, and now we are witnessing another degermanization. And if that were to happen, since the economic engine of the world, the center of gravity of world economy is now on the Pacific, Europe will not only Europe will never acquire a political agency, but will also lose all its economic influence, all its economic power, and eventually end up like a little nuts crushed between two walls. That is Eurasian integration on the other side, and the Euro-Atlantic world that is trying to protect its unipolarity on the other. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I do hope I will be able to listen to your speeches soon. Thank you.